No interrupting Mom0prey.
Can I say I love you to Mom0prey before
Well,
I
of course
go?
you can say that.
I love you, Mom0prey. I will see y'all back in a little bit. You give that new baby a big hug and kiss from Loki.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And DJ, thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. I get the first again.
Yes. And I just heard Samantha Joe said, "Love you, Mom0prey." Thank you so much, Samantha Joe. DJ, I hope you realize that you are one of my top favorite people on YouTube.
Thank you. Thank you.
There are many people I like and many people that I know care about Bird, and between all the back and forth BS, I'll call it, between games, I'll tell you that, and I know Anti-Tracker starts most of it, but I also know he has Joe's back, and they are truly friends. But DJ, I have to say, you have risen to the top, and in my mind and in my heart. And I know you're not the father. That's a different story. But I root for you all the time.
But they'll always claim I am, so we'll just have to live with it.
Yes, we will. Now, does everybody notice, wrong side, the pillow behind me? That's, I'm sorry, who did that?
I did actually.
Yes, yes. Anyway, moving on. Thanking everybody for putting up with an old lady's rambles. And
well, first of all, you're not an old lady, and second, it's not rambles. We love our Mom0prey stories.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I hope the one I got in mind, would be, it's one, honestly, that I cannot tell on Bird's channel, for reasons you'll understand after I tell it. But let me go back to not leave anyone out. And, this whole community, I don't know if you guys really realize what it means to both Bird and myself. I guess since this pandemic and everyone's been isolated to a point, they have an idea what it's like to like be in the home and not leave. But this is our life before the pandemic, after the pandemic. Visits to maybe outside when Bed does chair life, and visits to the hospital. But I'm not complaining because there is so much to do, and this YouTube community made it so much better, so much better. And again, I thank everyone for being part of it. Whether you're ranting and arguing with Bird, or agreeing with him, or beating him at games, or losing to him at games, which I understand doesn't happen all that often. But anyway, moving right along. I have a tale, and it's pertinent to what's going on in the world, which is crazy. It really is. Again, most people here know I grew up in Brooklyn, New York City, and our neighborhoods, or let's just say our schools, even in the 60s. We had different races, different religions. I honestly didn't see difference in anyone. This is the way I grew up believing. But New York City was also called the melting pot back then. Everyone wanted to become part of one community. It's different today. Uh, Everyone wants to keep their own culture, which I'm not putting down, but it's different. It's different. I mean, back then they had different neighborhoods where the majority of the people were one religion or one background or one race. But there were many neighborhoods that were just everyone together. And I kind of, was everyone together. The first time that I realized maybe I was different from the majority of the children that I was growing up with was after my father. Everyone probably knows I lost my mother at a young age and my father remarried, and my stepmother was crazy. That's the only way I'll say it. But anyway, my father was making a decent living, but she tried to really push for what she would call a better way of life. The house they bought maybe was a little out of his income level, and we struggled to keep up with that neighborhood. Let's just put it that way. So anyway, financially, we were not on the level of most of the people in the neighborhood. When school trips that were like overnight to I don't know where, Washington, D.C., that wasn't happening for me. But then when New York City schools, there were certain Jewish holidays that city schools didn't close. And on those days, when I realized there were only 5 children in my class, and 90% of the teachers didn't come in that day, and they took everybody that was in school and put them in the auditorium with the few teachers that were there, and you spent the day doing whatever in an auditorium. It's when I, started to think about different religions and how people were different. Not that anybody really treated me any different, but it was like the first time that I thought about differences. But growing up, you grew up with everyone. I went to high school, and just as I started high school, it was when busing started. Now, busing the children to other schools, that kind of bothered me. Not to have more Black children in our school. It bothered me for the kids that had to get up 2 hours early to catch a bus to go completely out of their neighborhood. I didn't think that was right. But I was still a kid. I didn't think of any other way. I mean, looking back, yeah. How about doing it differently? Not having to bus. Maybe combining whatever homes, building lower income homes in certain neighborhoods so that they would integrate naturally. But that's years ago, and it really don't matter at this point. Moving on, I graduated, started working, and some of my best friends were Black. And when I met Mom0prey and we were planning our wedding, One of the things, and this is the part of the story I can't say on Bird's stream because it would deeply hurt a family member now. And you got to think back. We got married in 1976. And we had our ceremony in a church, I don't know, at say 2:00 in the afternoon. And then our reception wasn't until 7:30 at night. So there was going to be a few hours in between. And Mom0prey's mother and father invited everyone back to their house for these few hours. And, you know, like a cocktail hour type of thing. Well, first of all, I did not have a big family that was coming. 90% of our wedding reception were either Mom0prey's family or Mom0prey's father and mother's friends. You know, it was that kind of thing. So I had a few people on my side of the family, and I had friends from work. And when Mom0prey's father heard that 3 of these friends were Black, he kind of like, you're not bringing them to my house. And I just very politely told him, this is your house and I can understand your rules. I don't agree with them, but I will tell you, I will not be here if they're not. I said, if they're not welcome in your house, I will not be here after the wedding. We'll get married and I'll be at the reception, but that's it. Well, I guess after he thought about it, and I'm sure his wife, my mother-in-law, you know, told him that his thoughts were archaic and to get over it. He did. He got over it really quick. And of course, my friends were welcome. And that was the last I ever heard from him about being semi-racist. I will say semi because he looked at himself as being very progressive at the time. But in any case, I also have felt the other way. One of these friends had her son's birthday party, and I think I might have told this already. I went to her house for her son's birthday party, and her grandfather was there and did not like the fact that I was white and there in her house. Back in the same era, the older people had their own ways and their own prejudices. I've lived my life really believing everyone is equal. And that's from the time I was a child. But now at this point, I still believe everyone is equal. But I also believe no one is better. No one race is better than another. No one religion is better than another. You believe what you believe. I will be friends with anyone that I get along with. I don't care the color of your skin, your religion. I don't care if you believe in flat earth, round earth. Did we get to the moon? We didn't get to the moon. Somewhere we have a connection. But if I don't like you, I'm not going to like you just because of the color of your skin or any of the other things. I feel that is my right to pick and choose my friends and the people I want to be around. Somebody don't like me? Fine. I'm starting to feel, though, that people are starting to judge again by this most ridiculous things, and it's scary. And I also believe what happened before our generations before we were born should be learned from, but not changed. You can't change the past. Wow, I'd love to be able to change the past. Could I go back and undo some of the really stupid mistakes I made as a young adult, as a middle-aged adult? But I can't change those things. So why should anybody be able to try to change our history? Okay, my rant's over, guys. But I just don't know where to go from here. In one respect, I'm very happy that I'm towards the end of my life. No, I don't think I'm dying tomorrow. God, I wish I have another 30, 40 years. But I'm also frightened for the younger generation. I don't know what will be. I mean, I lived through the turbulent 60s, the Vietnam War, the all sorts of things. But nothing compares to this. So my heart goes out to the world. But in my heart, when somebody starts telling me that, or accusing me of being racist or something like that, I know my heart, my whole life, I have stood up for everyone and never judged anyone because of what they looked like or what they believed. So, I mean, in that respect, I really feel my conscience is clear. Hey, look, I've done a lot of other things, but nothing like that. All right, guys. Anybody have any questions? Or DJ, you want to throw me off this now? That's fine.
I'm not throwing you
DJ
anywhere.
awake?
I'm awake.
You're awake. You're smoking. DJ, you're smoking in front of me. I can't smoke in the house, DJ. Can't
I'll smoke
in
inside for you. I'll
I
smoke
smell
inside for you.
it. Okay, wait. I dropped my gum. I can't let Sassy get it. Yep. Okay. Yeah, this is what I've been reduced to. Nicorette gum. Now that grandson Mom0prey is here.
And I bet you can't wait to get your hands on grandson Mom0prey.
Oh, I can't. You're gonna laugh at me.
Nah, we won't laugh.
Yeah, I'm not a person that goes over to every baby and kids are so cute. I don't really. I hate to say it. I loved my own kids and maybe a few relatives, but I'm not a person that just goes crazy over kids. And I know Sis Mom0prey really wanted a baby. And yes, babies are the next generation and all that. But I wasn't all that excited until I saw his little face. Now I am completely in love, and wow, it's a whole different feeling. So I will give up the cigarettes and go to gum. Excuse me. Okay. That works.
See, that was easy. You
Yeah.
didn't even have to unmask for that.
No, I knew that. That's why the gum was here next to me. But DJ, what number are you up to right now?
Right, we're past the 16-hour mark.
Oh, no. I meant how many subscribers? I know that. I heard.
Oh, I lost one, but we're still at 552.
Well, 552. That's terrific.
Yeah, it's not bad since last week at this time I was at like 460 something.
Yeah, that's DJ. I know you're going to make it. I know you are. But I've been wrong. No, I do know you are.
Yes, you could be wrong on this one, and by tomorrow I could be at 2.
No. And I've been trying to read these things that are passing in front of my face, and I'm thanking everybody for their nice comments. And I don't know. I was trying to think of a unique story about Bird, but I think you guys have heard. Okay. Anybody have any questions? But somebody's got to read them for me because I can't see.
Let's see. Come on, people. Pop in a question into the chat, and we will have Mom0prey answer for you. Of course, we've got a few of the crazy questions, like are you
really free? Mom0prey at Bird. Yes, Captain Trevor, I am free. Believe me, I am here doing exactly what I want to be doing. I really.
And Darth asks, does Mom0prey have a channel?
I do, but it's got no content. But yes, there's Mom0prey 5.
Piano Dean says, hey, Mom.
Hey, Piano Dean, really love the way you did that song for Bird. Really do. Thank you.
I'm not even putting your question up, Josh. You're acting like Kronos today.
Oh, God. I'm afraid to ask.
All right, I'll show you anyway. He asks, Mom0prey, when is the movie Throw Bird of Prey Out on the Porch coming out?
No, that one's not coming out. But I really wish we could do a movie, Bird of Prey Walks Onto the Porch. That would be the movie I would do. And
Carlos asks, Mom0prey, are you okay with the kidding around? We do love you and Bird. Hope you know that.
Yes, I do. I do. And most of the time, I'm good with it. Most of the time. Which brings up something else I wanted to bring up. When Bird said something about anti-Trekker, and we're talking about the father and not the father and whatever. Back in the day, before Google, before cell phones, before the internet, you had to research something. You needed to go to an encyclopedia, a library, wherever to look facts up. So when people spoke and sounded like they were an authority figure on something, people tended to take it for fact instead of opinion. And I don't remember who I heard it from, whether it was fact or not, but I kind of remember believing, because it made sense. Someone told me that the census only asked questions about your maternal heritage. Excuse me. Excuse me. Wow. Not your parental, not parental. What do you say for father? Anyway. Anyway, the point being is that we're always, I'm sorry, what? Paternal. Okay. Yes. That the census did not ask about your paternal ancestry. And the reason being is that you always knew who your mother was. but you were never 100% sure who your father was. And that was because there was no DNA testing. There was none of that. And it kind of made sense. This went for everybody. Your mother's name was on your birth certificate. And most of the time, the person she was married to became your father legally. Now, this actually did happen to somebody that I know. Him and his wife had been separated for years, and but she still carried his name. They were still married. He was gone, and she was living with somebody else, and he actually was working in the hospital, and one of his coworkers came to him and said, "Oh, congratulations. Your wife just gave birth to a baby boy." And he said, "What?" And sure enough, he went up to her room and she gave birth, and his name was on the birth certificate as the legal father, even though they had not seen each other for years. And I guess that could have happened in more cases than we know. Today, there's DNA, there's this and that. But that's where the phrase came. You always know who your mother is. You're never 100% sure who your father is. Of course, now you do. You can get tested. But back in the day, you couldn't. And that person I just told you about actually is my stepbrother. And that actually happened to him. And everybody knew that it wasn't his child. I mean, the real father supported him and raised him. And but my stepbrother's name was on the birth certificate. Strange how things were back then. Okay, how did I get on that subject? I don't even know.
You're just falling into the trap of this whole stream that we just go off on random tangents for no reason.
Yeah,
it's catchy on here.
Answer to when Bird told Anti-Trekker that he wasn't sure, that he couldn't be sure he was the father. Had nothing to do. I mean, what if a woman was abducted by aliens and didn't even have memory of it? That could happen.
I think that's what happened to me. I'm half alien.
I don't know. I was always told as a young child that my brother-in-law brought me home from the Korean War, that I didn't belong in the family. My sister and brother-in-law did terrible things to me. I was afraid of heights, so they would walk up this house that had a outside staircase that had open steps, metal steps, and leave me on the top and run down. I just thought I was going to fall through the steps, and I probably would have if I was little.
That's not nice.
No. My sister still thinks of those days and apologizes. Thank God she's still here.
Of course, Ellie was in and said, saw Mom0prey, wanted to say hello to the beautiful lady before the whole work day got underway. Love y'all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And again, I'm going to thank you for having me. And
I thank you for sitting down and actually having this little scoop because, well, it was a scoop that Bird didn't get first.
No, he didn't. He didn't. But, it's actually was great for me in more ways than one. But for one, I don't get to sit too long very often. So this is good. And normally the only time I really rest is if Bird's on his stream or, you know, listening to somebody else's stream, which is often lately, but
And I'm sure he'll send me a bill for it later.
ha ha ha. DJ, do me one big favor. Rest. You have people around you that will keep your stream going. Don't put your health in danger. You can keep the stream up, but you can rest.
Yeah, because I did put the stipulation. I didn't have to stay awake for it. I just had to be on camera if I slept.
Right. Just like I didn't say I wasn't coming on without a mask. I said I would come on without an avatar. So, you know.
Right. And I already got the pleasure of seeing you quickly without the mask the other day when you
did.
saluted with the chocolate milk.
Yes, definitely. That was, I didn't realize you were having another stream after that. I thought that was my appearance for your 500 subs.
Well, I didn't think you'd come on after that either. I thought that was going to be your appearance too until Bird told me different.
Now Thomas is saying that I make you stand all the time.
No. Thomas, he does not make me stand. I said rest. Rest. And he's not forcing me. He could care less if I never dusted the house or many things. There's nothing Bird ever forces me to do. But there are some things that life forces you to do. You know, eat.
Wesley has a question.
Okay.
Mom0prey, when is it safe for me to come visit?
As soon as this pandemic is at a point where everything's open here in New York City again. Even yesterday, Mom0prey asked Bird, when did he want to meet the baby? And his answer was, is this a joke? As soon as possible. And, you know, she kind of thought maybe we were afraid to have her and the baby here because they just spent, 3 days in the hospital. And, but we spent a week in the hospital last month. They're being very careful and cautious in the hospitals. They've taken all the virus cases to one area, use separate doors, separate staffing. But Wesley, we would love to have you come here. In fact, I will say most of you guys and girls are welcome here anytime.
Especially the girls.
Oh God, Virgil.
Yeah, especially the girls. I heard it.
Yeah. Seriously. Who knows when this is going to end, but I think the first thing we'll do when this pandemic is hopefully over is have some sort of a get together for Mom0prey and Charlie. We're hoping that August might be a good time for that, but heck, who knows? I just want everyone to stay healthy. Yes.
Another question we got is, did you hit Mom0prey with the batleth upside the head recently? A Klingon needs to keep her bird in fighting shape.
No, the batleth is downstairs. It's handy, but I wouldn't hit Bird with it. Besides Bird being my son and I love him, I can say I've always liked him also. That isn't true for all family members. I mean, I have some family members that they're my family, and I'm not talking about Mom0prey. But I didn't always like them. I've always liked Bird. He is a likable person. Really.
And we got a fellow DJ of mine from the radio station, right around your age, says, I so enjoyed it. She is the bomb in my books now.
Oh, thank you so much. DJ Bayou, is that who that?
Yep, DJ Bayou. She's from Louisiana.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Louisiana is one place I've never been to, but
I was down there. I went down there last summer and met her personally. And I ended up mooning her. I'm such a bad person.
I'm afraid to ask.
I was a drinking fireball.
Understood. Okay.
And she kind of like laughed when I threatened it, and so.
Yeah, I know.
And then she took a picture of it and got blackmail material on me.
Oh, well, that's good. She's quick at the gimmicks.
Yeah, so now I have to behave.
Yeah. I once did something, not mooning or taking off clothes, but my father had a bar, and on Thanksgiving, he would have a lot of the neighborhood people that didn't have families, and the back room was quite large, and they'd set tables up long, like one long table, and have all the friends in for dinner. Well, I came in, and I had a slow gin fizz. Do you know how much sugar is in that thing? But
yep,
anyway,
I do.
Okay, so I was drinking it, and somebody said something to me. I don't know. I don't even remember what he said now, but it was a little off color. And I took the drink and I put it above his head, like I was going to spill it on him. And he just looked at me and said, I dare you. You know what happened next. Here this guy was in his Thanksgiving best clothes, suit jacket or sport jacket. He was then covered with slow gin fizz. Well, he passed away about 2 years ago. But until that day, I always wondered when he was going to get even. Because he kept saying, I'll get you. I'll get you. And anytime I saw him, I got to watch out for him. I got to watch out for Skippy. He's going to get me one day good. Of course, he was a gentleman and never tried to retaliate, but he was a friend of the family's and a good guy. But I just felt so bad after I did it. I couldn't. When the words came out, I dare you, I just reacted. No thought involved. The whole glass went right over his head. Yeah. Anyway.
Yes. That would have been fun to see, though.
Oh, I thought it was, but oh God.
See, I bartended for 11 years, and when I had to deal with somebody like that, I gave them a free shot called a cement mixer.
Oh?
It's a little bit of Irish cream with a little bit of sweet and sour on top, and when they take the shot and it swizzles around their mouth, it turns to cottage cheese.
Oh, my God. Oh, God. It doesn't sound good.
Well, it's not, and that's how I dealt with people bugging me all the time for free shots.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, he was really a nice guy. He was, I don't know how old, older than me. His daughter was friends with my younger sister, and his family and my family were just close. And I just couldn't. Back in those days, those words were like, well, actually, he did kind of get even with me. The next summer, there was a party at this guy's house that had a pool. But I had gotten warned that the minute I showed up, I was getting thrown in the pool. So I showed up already wearing my bathing suit, not carrying it. And as I was getting picked up to be thrown in the pool, off came my skirt and off came my shirt. So when they threw me in the pool, all I had was my bathing suit on. So I didn't, and I didn't wear any jewelry or watch. That was, but that was his doing, setting up me getting thrown into the pool. But that really wasn't him getting even at me. But anyway, guys, it's time I start to go. And thank you again so much, everybody, for listening. And what can I say?
I thank you for being on today, and I'm sure Kronos is going to kick himself in the tail when he finds out that he missed all this.
Aw.
He'll just have to watch the replay.
Yes.
And we'll ban Anti-Trekker from watching it.
No, well, just take out the parts where I said nice things about him. You know, I don't want him to know that it's really all, you know, that the bad parts are all a hoax. The good parts are. I mean, really, Anti-Trekker has stepped up anytime Bird's been sick. I mean, he honestly even offered, if anything happened to me, that if Bird could find his way to Tennessee, that they would work out taking care of him, finding, you know, a way to make it work. And that's like, wow.
That is.
Yeah, that is like, you know, that's a biggie. So I can get angry at him. I can get mad at him for certain things, but deep down, I know he is a good guy, even though he tries not to show it too much. So on that note, anyone that's headed to New York, let us know. And we're here. And I do have to have Lori Roberts over for dinner one day. We're getting close to that point of being able to open up in New York City. And as soon as it's completely safe, I guess she'd be the first one to be here, since she seems to be the closest. And we owe her for trying to take care of Sassy. All right, guys.
Take care, Mom0prey.
Bye, everyone. Now I got to.
Bye, Mom.
Bye. DJ, knock me out since I don't know how to leave.
Okay.
Thank you.
I feel bad for this, but